How do you actually charge for services for your MSP company? Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Barron from Growth Generators, and like I said in this video, we are covering how to actually charge for your MSP services. So typically, your services are going to fall into three different categories. At least this is what I've seen. I've worked with probably over 100 MSPs at this point. I used to work for an MSP for many years and tripled the revenue while I was there. So what did we do? Well, first of all, we scrapped our old business model, and I implemented a new business model as far as pricing goes. What was that pricing, you might ask? And that pricing was broken into three different categories. The first one, on-site. How much does it cost to be on site? The second one is remote. And the third one, a la carte. What is a la carte? A la carte is paying per hour. It doesn't matter what it is, you're paying every single hour. This is not a unlimited contract. As many of you may know, it's not a monthly contract. It is, hey, I need service. Somebody comes out or somebody remotes on my computer and I get billed every 15 minutes. That is the right way to bill. You're not a lawyer. You're not billing in 6-minute increments. You are billing in 15-minute increments. You're not billing by the hour either. You are going to hurt somebody and you're not going to be compensated appropriately. You need to bill every 15 minutes. How much should you be charging? This varies so drastically based on your company. Now, the higher skill level your employees are, the faster they can execute tasks, the more you can charge per hour. On the flip side of things, if you're a newer, smaller startup, you kind of know what you're doing, you've kind of sank your feet in the ground, but you're still figuring out everything, you're probably looking at the lower end. Now, what are these numbers? If you have skilled employees, you're probably looking at between $150 to $200 per hour. If you have a lower skilled employees, and it's nothing against your employees, but they might have just gotten their A+ certification. They might just have graduated college. You might have some younger staff who really doesn't have their roots in the IT industry. If that's the case, you're probably looking between $50 and $75 per hour. Now, I understand that for some companies, that is a very low amount of money, and that's okay. But either way, you're probably going to fall into one of those two categories. Now, I say per hour, but how much is that actually for your client? Well, typically, like I said, you're going to have those three different categories. That was a la carte. You need to know how much you're going to be charging. If you're driving there, you also have to factor in time for driving and time for gas. Typically, what I do is a half rate. So if it takes an hour to get there, I usually charge about half to get there and half back. So a one-way trip, that is an additional X amount of dollars. This is the right way to price it because for many people, where I was on Long Island, a lot of our accounts were 45 minutes to an hour away and then 45 minutes to an hour back. So if I had to do 1 hour of work and I'm only charging $150 for that 1 hour, that's not enough money to be compensated. It's realistically $300. And when the account says, hey, why is it so much money? Well, you didn't want me to remote into your computer where I could have resolved this in 30 minutes or an hour because they didn't want to do anything. You have to be compensated for your gas, your insurance, and your time to drive there, which is why you would charge a 50% rate for many companies. Once again, this is a case-by-case basis. Now, the last two, you have on-site and you have remote. Most people are going to sell an unlimited remote package. The pricing on those typically varies between $50 and about $125 per seat. If you have everything dialed in, I highly recommend going with the higher number. It's $125 per seat. A company of 10 employees will be paying about $1,250 per month. If you want to discount it every 10 employees, I do recommend that, or every 5 employees, I do recommend that, because if somebody has 2 or 3 seats, they shouldn't necessarily qualify. But for 5 people, it's probably going to be about the same amount of work for you, but you're going to be making a bit more money. Now, what does this include? This includes pretty much everything outside of a project. What is a project? A project is when you have to go through, you have to go get time, you have to go get materials, you really have to go through an entire list. Support is going to include some software upgrades, some remote in, some break fixes, basically anything like that, along with, if they're willing to drop off their machine to you, you guys will fix whatever is wrong with it. So that might be a new hard drive, new CPU, new cooler, maybe it's just a computer cleaning. Either way, if they're willing to bring it to you, that is realistically what you should be charging. Now, how much should you actually be charging with on-site? First of all, you can do an unlimited package. If you do an unlimited package, unlimited on-site, unlimited remote, it's usually between $175 and $250 per seat per month. This is just what I've seen. I've called up a dozen companies already. I've asked them what they charge, and this seems to be the average. The higher tier companies always charge a little more. The lower tier, smaller companies, maybe not as intricately trained as far as staff goes, they're charging the lower side of that spectrum. But an all-in remote end on-site package is probably about $150 or $175 all the way up to about $250 per seat. That means you're willing to go there, you're willing to fix anything. You're obviously going to try to fix everything remotely before you have to go there, but if you do have to go there, you do not charge any extra. Now, I've seen some companies do hybrids of this, where they have a remote and they have an on-site package where you pay for a remote and you get a discounted rate at on-site. I'm not going to speak on this because most companies and the companies that I spoke to don't really do this. And if I gave away the numbers that I already have, you'd probably be like, well, that I know exactly who that is. So I'm not going to mention that. But just think about it, right? You have an unlimited remote and then you're paying for a discounted rate of on-site. What that number is very much so up to you, but these are some basic numbers that you can use to help grow your MSP, especially when you're starting out. Figure out how you can be compensated. I wish that I watched this video long before I started with that company because it would have grown even faster. So take what you will from this information. I will promise you that it'll help you grow your business. Other than that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, the little notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to grow your business. Other than that, we'll see you later.